this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the board minutes of April 10th, 2017.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moving to second to approve the board minutes. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed likewise. Motion carries. Public comment. Ms. Agnes Bushy, I believe you have one to speak. You would come up, ma'am. And I'm not trying to cut you short, ma'am, but we allow 3 minutes for public comments, okay? Thank you, ma'am.
First, I'd like to say thanks to Mayor Shaw and the representatives of the board for allowing me this time. I am Agnes Fouché, and I reside at 335 Elam Avenue in Ramseur, North Carolina. I am a lifelong resident and owner of property here in our fair city. I asked to speak in reference to trespassing, which bears weight on the situation of what the trespassing allows to happen. So if you allow me to read my statement, it will help you to understand where I am in my participation, my disappointment, and my anguish as for the last 26 years of trying to come to a conclusion that will dissolve instead of destroy. To the Ramseur City and Town Hall, 724 Liberty Street, Ramseur, North Carolina. Attention, Mayor Danny Shaw. From Agnes Fouché at the Ramseur Resident. May the 1st, 2017, Ramseur City Council. I am here to address a continuing problem of trespassing and defacing of my property located at 338 East Ridge Street within the city limits of Ramseur, North Carolina. The latest accusation filed April the 10th, 2017. I have nailed high, very high up in my trees, no trespassing signs in very early years upon our purchasing of said property, containing my name, declaring ownership, address, and phone number, and no one approached me in any way to refute it. Our surveyor, Mr. Rufus Johnson of Chatham County, a registered and very qualified company, was employed by the state of North Carolina for more than 34 years in this capacity before he accepted my contract to do the job of surveying my property. When his research was completed, he went before the town representatives and addressed his findings, alerting them that my property was in question, referencing to invasions discovered. And this was before this board at present hand was in place. So you see, for 26 years, I've been suffering to be a contributor of Ramseur as a builder, as a good resident, as a citizen with projections of hope, of increase, and bringing contributions to our fair city with no avail. So I'm asking the board in an appeal to help bring some closure and some consideration of long suffering that has not been realized by the past former mayor, Hampton Spivey, and town clerk, Ms. Frida Weisner. Make no attempt to clarify or work out problems. This is one of the major things that I could not get the former board to address. I brought suggestions, proposals to the board of extending the gas line through said property and connecting to my property at Elam Avenue, and I was rejected. I brought proposals to, and I sought professional assistance to bring housing to the 338 East Ridge Street property, and was rejected. I don't know what it will take to bring progress to prominent property of great merit that has been in existence with my family since the early 1800s. We are not here to destroy or undermine or...
Ms. Boucher, you have one more minute, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Okay. I just want to say, if this board would please take into consideration that the investment in my properties are expensive with no avail to develop them, I don't understand what it is that Ramseur is really looking for. If you're not looking for growth, if you're not looking to better Ramseur, I don't know where to reach.
Mayor Matt?
Yes.
Board's permission. You might help if you, in the last 30 seconds here, tell the board who your grievance is against.
The former board leaders was under the former mayor, Hampton Spivey, and Mrs. Frida Weisner as town clerk.
What trespass are you talking about?
The trespass, which took place April the 10th, is just a straw that broke the camel's back. Because when
What was
people,
that?
there was a man that came on my property, and I was outside in my yard up the street, and I heard this great commotion from the dog, and I was concerned because I didn't want anybody to get hurt. So I walked down to my 338 East Ridge Street property, and a man was coming out of the driveway, and I spoke to him with greeting. Hello? And he ignored me. 3 times I voiced a greeting of hello, and each time I got louder because I thought maybe he had a hearing problem, but it wasn't a hearing problem. When he got to the end of the driveway, he turned to the right and started up the hill without acknowledging me. So I stopped and I said, "So you're trespassing?" And he turned around and he held his hands up. He had a measuring stick in one hand and a cell phone in the other. And he said, "Ma'am, I'm from the gas company." But when...
Ms. Boucher, I hate to interrupt you, ma'am, but we let you go over your time. I think what you need to do is get our police officer, and I think maybe he can assist you in this complaint. Because if you're talking about trespassing, I think it needs to go through the police department.
Excuse me, sir, I did contact the police department.
Okay. All right.
But it is not the matter of the trespass. They're coming as they did in earlier times, different ones.
Okay.
And they are not only trespassing, they are taking parts of the property that I own. And I am not allowed to stop them because I can't get any recognition of help.
Well,
from our representatives.
may I suggest your time is allotted, is that get with our police officer and see when someone is over there, if you can contact police department. Larry, could you?
Yes, sir, I think I responded out to Ms. She's home on that
Sure
day.
you can, because we need to move on.
The initial trespass complaint was a bona fide employee of a contract company with reading gas meter. What I could gather from Ms. Fouché that day was that sewer line right away at that 338 property. Best I can determine that she has some damage, a fence at one time that was there and it got damaged that the town was mowing or just keep getting bigger with that right of way, and it's infringing on her property is her claim. Is the best I can determine. Is that correct, Ms. Fouché?
Not only that, sir, the property has squatters, and I've lost acreage, and an official survey was brought to the town former board, and it was nothing ever decided. And it just is an ongoing act to take my property. And there's no approval for the things that I suggest for my property. And I would like for the town to consider allowing improvements that would help enhance our town and not destroy.
Ms. Fouché, not to cut you off, but if you will get with us in the office, come
Yes,
out in
sir.
the morning, and let's sit down and talk about what the actual situation is. And we'll get our public works guys together and talk about what's going on over there, okay?
Thank you. And if you allow me to, I will leave a copy,
Sure, I would love to for you
To-
to leave with Bobby if you would.
give you an enlightenment.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank
give
you
you
for
a
your
call
time.
and set the time to meet with you, and we can discuss this, okay?
I appreciate it so much.
With the board's permission.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're gonna move into old business right now. First item on the agenda is Frontier Grant. Mary Perry O'Connor come to our meeting last month and made kind of a proposal on improving the quality of water in Clintonville. And it's up to the board discussion. I think we told him to get back with him, so here you are.
I would like to make a motion that we pay the part of the loan that they're asking, because it's, I attended those meetings, and it's not only to help their water quality, but it's to help ours. Mark can elaborate on this a little bit more better than I can, because he understands exactly how it's gonna affect us. They're applying for the grant, they're getting a grant, but the work is gonna be done at our water plant, which is gonna help our quality of water before it even gets to them. So we're gonna benefit from them too, and no more than they're asking. I think it's something Ramseur really needs to consider. Mark, if you wanna collaborate on this.
Wait a minute. We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Moving to second that we enter a contract with Frontier on improvement of our water quality. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, how much are we going to assist them on this?
It's somewhere, I don't have the exact amount, but somewhere between $1,500 to $2,000 a year.
I talked with Commissioner Hesselmeyer, and he done some investigation on that pump that they're talking about putting in, and how much that was gonna cost, and how much it would save the town if we done this. It's just what we was talking about,
I don't know, what pump are we talking about?
where they put the water in, the Franklinville grant.
Oh, you're talking about the injector.
The injector, yes, sir. I'm sorry, I called it a pump.
It's a chlorine injection.
How much, do you remember how much you said?
If I can have permission from the board to read this price, is that okay with you guys? If you remember, the example that we're given was a total estimated project cost of $490,000. 75% that would be a grant to the town of Franklinville. 25% would be a loan in the amount of $122,500 on a 20-year loan with 0% interest. Ramseur portion of that would be 25% which equals to $30,625, or $1,531.35 a year. Or at 30% would be $36,750, or approximately $1,837.50 a year. So you're talking less than $2,000 a year to improve the quality of Ramseur, and a $490,000 grant for town funding.
The way that I looked at it, again, I believe Mark would be better at saying these kind of things, but that pump, as you call it, or the chlorine injector, runs probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $90,000. So we're getting it for a third of what it would cost if we would have to go at it ourselves. One of the things that we are experiencing, and here again, Mark would be much better at saying these kind of things, but every year there are new measuring equipment being developed, and as they develop these measuring equipment, then the requirement gets lowered. I think now we're at 0.08.
For HAAs, we're a 0.08, and for KHNs, we're 0.06 on the numbers.
And the possibility is that as time goes on, this is going to get lower. And as the result of doing this now, we will be ahead of the game at a cheaper price.
Any further discussion? David, did you understand those figures?
Yes, sir. I was just wanting to make sure that everybody on the board, I talked to Commissioner Hessmeyer, he'd done some work, and I just wanted to make sure everybody on the board knew that we were gonna save substantial money by assisting on this grant.
Any further discussion?
I'd like to slip in a comment right here. I made a motion or a resolution the other night that I would like to see the board start having a meeting extra once a quarter or whatever. This is a good example right here. This is something that we should have discussed before tonight, to where the board knew what we was talking about. Part of us knew, part of us don't understand it. So I would like to put that right there.
Okay, if I could say so, this was presented from Perry last month's board meeting, and y'all should have time to study it between now and tonight. So.
As a group, we have not sat down and discussed it all. As a group, we are 5 commissioners plus you, Danny. We're supposed to be able to sit down and discuss this stuff. And then, if you decide as a mayor to do your job as it speaks, as it calls for in the resolution, you are to listen to us and decide which is the best way to present it to the public.
You're absolutely correct, Joe. The only thing I did was read the figures because nobody else up here had the figures and they were asked for them. That's all I did.
And I attended the meetings in Ashburn on this, me and Mark.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed likewise. Motion carries unanimous.
Now, wait a minute, I do have a question.
You didn't decide if it was 25 or 30%.
It's gonna be whichever one they come out with.
You have two figures there, I just wanna make sure before. Cause you have 25% and 30%
Yeah, I do.
listed on there.
I do.
Your motion did
One
not
for
include
15 and one for
20.
18.
We don't know the exact figure till the grant comes through.
Yeah, but are we gonna pay 20%, or are we gonna pay the 30%, is what she's saying?
That's what I wanna know, or what's in your motion, are you motion to pay the 25% or the 30?
Let's retract that vote and go back to y'all want to pay the 25 or 30%.
Pay whatever it takes.
Well, that's what I would say.
That would be my
Up to a certain point.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed.
30%?
not to exceed the 30% or whatever the highest number is.
Mr. Mayor,
You need
can I
to
speak?
I don't know.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Where the 25 and 30% came in was, using the $490,000. the work that will be done at the water plant would be changing the injection point for our chlorine. And whether the 25 or 30 or however many percent it is, however many percent it came up to be, nobody's 100% sure. All we've got right now is just engineer estimates. And if anybody's ever worked with engineers, you know how that could be. You could be way high, you could be way low. And the 25 or 30% that they're using is 25 or 30% of the total grant. That's the reason nobody actually knows the exact number that they're wanting to use. Hopefully I clarified that a little bit.
I'd like to change my motion, change the motion to it not to exceed the 30% at this time.
Of the whole grant?
Of the total.
That would be how much? 120 grand?
No.
That much?
It's,
Percentage, how much was the grant again? He's trying to do the math.
it's here on the whole grant, it's only just.
$490,000.
But not to exceed $36,750. It's higher than you always get that check.
I'd like to amend my motion to 30%, not to exceed the $36,750 per year. For the total grant.
Is there a second to that amended motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the amended motion, raise your hand. All opposed, likewise. Now that's clarified. Property purchase, Mr. William Brown. What's the pleasure of the board on, what you heard from Mr. Brown last month's board meeting? He wanted to buy a portion of the property on Bushy Road.
I would make a motion that we divide the land.
We don't have
Put that in the back section back there, get it surveyed. We should have a survey plot offered. The section back behind that he wants to buy, break it off in that front piece of property and then get it zone that to residential in that section, because it's behind two houses right there. His and the other one over there. And get it through.
We need to see a plat of this piece of property. And
Let me ask you this, if the town chooses to sell this property, don't they have to have this property appraised and take bids on this property?
Look, you've got three different ways. You can do public auction, you can do a sealed bid, or you can do a negotiated offer. If Mr. Brown wants to submit an offer to purchase this property, the board has the liberty of saying, we're gonna declare it surplus. His bid will be submitted, under 160A 269, his negotiated offer, then you have to take a bid deposit, do an advertisement, for upset bids in 10 days. When that process works through, then the board can review the offer, and they can, the statute says, the council may at any time reject any and all offers. So, you're doing a negotiated offer, you first have to determine if you want to declare that surplus. I don't think the town gets into rezoning matters on a surplus sale. The new owner would then, if he purchased it, then would need to take care of that. The town would need to decide if they want to declare it surplus for sale. And there's several different ways: you can auction, sealed bid, This way, it's a negotiated offer where you can get an unsolicited offer and buy it. Then you advertise that offer and then decide when the ad's completed, whether you want to accept the highest bid or not.
But now, does that offer, will that go into the whole piece of property, or will just a piece of property back there at East End?
You need to decide what you want to declare surplus. You want to carve off something, or you want to declare the whole tract?
He needs to make an offer.
So let's table it and then give him, Mr. Brown, and his group, and discuss it later and find out what he wants to do. And
The board will need to know the specific acreage, and you'll need a meets and bounds description of it so that you can advertise it.
Has
and
it,
then he gets involved.
has it been surveyed before previously?
I don't know if I got those.
Does anybody know?
That's both guys' problem.
That was property that was, given to the town.
But was it surveyed at that time?
No, it was just, it's recorded as courthouse, and the lady was paying taxes on it, and she felt like she couldn't pay taxes any further, so she deeded it to the town of Ramseur.
I think, until we can find all this out, get copies of the stuff, we need to table this to maybe next month.
All right,
That's the motion I made.
I say,
been moved and seconded to table this for next month's board meeting. Is there any discussion?
I've got a plan of it.
If not, just a moment, please. There is 1.8 acres in total property. That's all.
All of it,
That's all of it.
the whole chicken mine.
Yeah, so that being said, any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, table this till next month, raise your hand. All opposed, likewise. Mr. Brown, we'll get this thing looked
You
at.
got an extra copy of that?
You can probably have this one.
Yeah, you can keep that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay.
I got a picture of it at home.
Any further old business or comments? If not, we can move into new business. Public Works, Mr. Mark Gross.
To start off with, I'd like to say thank you for the chance to be able to do public works in Ramseur. We did inherit several piles of brush, that type of stuff, before we actually got started. In the 2 weeks today that we have actually done public works, we have been able to get the bigger majority of the brush chipped up or hauled off, one of the two. We did work. We had 5 people working Saturday to get the bigger majority of everything chipped. We still have some smaller piles to do, but I think we can handle those with the 2 that we've got right now. We're going to try to get those done this week. And I do appreciate everybody being patient with us, getting it done. And moving forward, what our plan is as far as chipping brush, we're going to try to take Tuesdays and let that be the days that we chip brush. We're going to try to go all the way through town and chip brush on Tuesdays. Now, you have bad storms come through, we have a lot of limbs down. Of course, we're not going to get it all done in one day. Water emergencies, any type of emergencies is going to take precedence over that. But what our plan is to leave Tuesdays as the day that we do our chipping of limbs and that type of stuff. So, have y'all got any questions for us as far as public works right now?
doing a good job.
We appreciate it. And I appreciate you being patient with us and not shooting us for working Saturday. We thought we were going to have to work Sunday, but we were able to get enough done on Saturday to where we didn't have to go and work on Sunday this week.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate it.
Please report, Commissioner Hesselmeyer.
The police department answered 141 calls for the month, and some of the more important ones is they responded to 19 alarms. They had 19 suspicious persons. They had 18 suspicious vehicles. They spent 63 hours in training time. Now, that's a little high, but let me remind you that the state requires every officer to go through firearm training once a year, and this was done this past month. And so they have been hard at it as usual. There's many other things that I could talk about, but this is probably the highlight. Mr. Mayor, I move you to the adoption of this report.
Is there a second?
I say,
Moving and second, we accept the police reports. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed, likewise. Motion carries. Police expenses, Commissioner Hesselmeyer.
There are none.
Expenses for the fire department, Commissioner Hesselmeyer.
Our fire department had 3 fires for the month, 1 service call, 18 medical calls, for a total cost of $710. Mr. Mayor, I move you that we pay these expenses.
Is there a second? Move to second, we pay $710 expenses to fire department. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed, likewise. Motion carries. Water and sewer expenses, Commissioner Cheek.
There's no water or expenses at this time.
Cemetery library, Commissioner Lineberry.
On the library, we've got, bids come in on painting wallpaper and fixing a cabinet that's, come loose from the wall up there. So we've got three or four bids in on that. We've got one from Greg Smith. His bid is $440. One from Chris Deaton, $753. One from Edward Scott, $753. And one from Monty Baker for $540. So we're recommending that Greg Smith do the job.
You make that a motion?
I'll make that a motion.
Is there a second?
make a motion for what?
Greg Smith, paint, put wall, new, take off old wallpaper, redo some wallpaper in the paint the bathrooms and, work on the cabinet.
I thought you were talking about the cemetery.
That's at the library.
Any further discussion?
I don't know this gentleman, is he qualified?
Yes, sir, he's done a lot of work here in town.
We can get a second. Who seconded that motion? Anybody second that motion? All right. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion accepting $440 from Smith, raise your hand. All opposed likewise. Anything else on the cemetery?
The cemetery, we had one complaint, but I cannot find the stone that they were complaining about. Grant, did you ever figure out where it was at?
No, so I'm gonna wait till he come in. I told you that day, but he didn't tell me what section it was in. and
I've looked
stuff.
in all of them.
He just
I
gave
didn't
me the
find it.
names
I
of it.
didn't get out and walk great, but.
Do you have a name?
Yeah.
Well, we can find it, right? You got the
Well,
name?
I mean, I know we can, but, we gotta complain on that. All right, the shrubs that I've got, another bid supposedly to come in and he's gonna make a diagram to where we can use part of what Sam and Jordan has donated to them. And I want Sam and his approval on what we decide to do. And then once I get their approval to bring it before the board, because they're spending their money on that too. So, Sam said that when I got my bids together, he would be glad to meet down here with us to find out on the cemetery.
Anything else, Joe?
The handicap, and I've already talked to Mark about that. The handicap in front of the museum, the mark off, I've requested to get it repainted because the people are paying no attention. They're just going in parking there instead of leaving it open for the handicap people to come in. So Mark's gonna take care of that. Basically, covers me.
Next item of business is ball field contract, Commissioner Key.
Well, we've been trying to get our ball field up and running for quite a while, and it's a big task getting this done. And Mr. Steve Heases came to us and he's agreed to take it over, keep the ball field up. He's got to spend out a lot of money doing repairs, getting the ball field leveled, the fences got to be fixed, and the bases and just different things. And I've had meetings with him, and I've been out of town, some of us had meetings with him, and I think this is a good situation to get him. It's a 5-year contract, and I understand that due to the fact that he's got to put some money up front, and he's got to have opportunity to get his money back for security. And I make the motion that we give Mr. Steve Heath this contract.
Is there a second?
You go ahead.
Second.
Who's the second for the contract with Mr. Steve Heath, which would be Main Event Sports for the contract with Ball Field? Any discussion?
I was looking at this just a few minutes ago again. Was this gonna be from March to October of each year, or is he having it for the entire year?
I think it's just from March, something like that, just to play in time,
March,
season
October.
time.
So
yeah.
he's gonna pay rent from March through
Yeah.
October, but
It's a
not gonna be
season time.
paying rent when he's not using.
No, no.
But, so basically from June 1st this year to October, and then next year through 2021, March to October, with the option to negotiate November, depending on weather. I need to amend this to make sure that it's perfectly clear, because the addendum talks about March to October, but over here it talks about it being for the entire year. I want to make sure he pays rent when he uses it. And you're anticipating March, October.
Yeah.
I will amend that and clarify that.
So, on those off times, the town could rent it out or do whatever, have use of the ball field
Yeah.
when it's not.
There is a provision there
The town can use,
that it's terminable, the agreement's terminable by either party upon 60 days written notice.
Number 4.
Right.
Here's, this is a discussion, right?
yeah,
You remember when Reggie Aldred and Matt Brown had it? They started all over the tournament, bringing all these people in from all over the state. And they were charging so much per, and it was running over and above what our kids in this community was using the lights for. Our light bill last month, I believe, was $300 and some dollars worth, Bobby, just on the light bill over there. So, on that, I think we needed to go, talk to Steve. If he's gonna start that, if he's gonna hold tournaments like that, we need to ask for a percentage toward the lights, the extra time. I know it's gonna cost him some to, maybe the fence is damaged 1 or 2 places, and he's telling that the bases has got to spend several $100s on it. I don't see that, but that's neither here nor there. In 5 years, I got a question on the 5-year contract. That should be, instead of signing for the 5-year contract, looks to me like that should be negotiable after the 2nd year or whatever.
Say something, Dave. We have $5,000 set back for the light bill. For the light bill. It's in the budget. You use the 2 months and that will be gone. Well, the way I had figured when I was over.
I think there should be a cap placed on the power. I don't think the town should be responsible for paying the power for all the tournaments that they're gonna be holding. The municipalities around us, the people that are contracting to use their fields, pay the power and the water, and then the town don't have to worry about how much they use the lights. Or how many people there use the restrooms. So I think we need to renegotiate this contract to where it's in the best interest of our citizens of this town, where they don't have to come out of their pocket to pay for the use of the ball field for people from all over the state or out of the state if they hold regional tournaments or state tournaments here. And we can say what they want to about it's not gonna be that, but once the contract's signed, they can do what they want to. So we need to look out for our own citizens.
Can I say something?
Yeah, just a minute, Steve, hold on a minute. Anyone want to have any other discussion? If not, I'm gonna ask if we let Mr. Steve Heath come up and answer any questions you guys may have. Is that okay with the board?
Is Steve here?
Yes, he's here.
Right here? Okay.
Come on up, Steve.
Can I speak to him?
We really have to speak tonight, so the board may want to ask you a few questions.
Okay. I'm Steve Heath. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Been involved with all around these parks since went East Randolph and won a state championship. We tried this one time before. I think the last time I was at this meeting, we were trying to put a Parks and Rec director in place. Since I'm already in business, doing business with the Asheboro Parks and Rec, Liberty Parks and Rec, all the way to Pittsburgh, I book umpires for. As you can tell, I had a game tonight, we got rained out. My idea is I'm tired of seeing the Eastern Randolph kids kind of get pushed to the side. I'm currently running the basketball program. I have done it for the last 2 years because the person that was doing it before me kind of just let it go to the wayside. A lot of kids don't have a lot of money in Ramseur, plain and simple. Other areas don't have the problems that we have in Ramseur as far as paying the fees for the kids to play. I'm $500 in my pocket for the kids of Ramseur to play basketball this past year. We try to do fundraisers. Nobody wants to help. My wife and 8-year-old son does the majority of the help cleaning up the gyms on Saturday. We had a better working relationship with the principal, Miss Abernathy, this year. She was very better supportive this past year than the first year coming out of the gate. I think she had heard a lot of rumors, a lot of things have been said, so she was a little wary. I think now she's got a different attitude and is willing to help us as much as she can. The baseball side of it was, as you can tell if you drove by the fields lately, they're going downhill rapidly. It's took more than a year or two for them to get to the situation that they're in now, and it's going to take more than a year or so to get them back to where they used to be. My number one goal is to bring ball for the youth recreation to the town of Ramseur, for the Eastern Randolph kids. I don't know if you realize it or not, but we're the only high school in the county that is not backed or supported by a Parks and Rec program. So our kids are getting behind. I understand that education is the most important thing, but keeping these kids active and off of video games and out of trouble into other things. We now have alcohol in Ramseur, or when I growed up, this is Dry County. My parents said it would never happen, but it happened. And I'm not a drinker. I don't drink, but I don't blame nobody or look down on anybody that decides that they want to have a drink. Yes, I plan on having some tournaments. I book my leagues, fields through Sumner Elementary School. I have a set of keys to Sumner. I do the majority of my tournaments at Sumner. It costs me nothing to use those fields, lights included. I run the concessions. I take care of the fields. I clean them up. I also book their officials. I go out there and call, so I'm personal with the whole league. Yes, sir?
You three go ahead and finish, then
I go to Bray Park. I've got Bray Park in Solder City. Nobody wants to play every travel tournament in Ramseur every single weekend. Of course, we want them to come. It's going to bring revenue to the town, and yes, I'm going to make $1 off of it. But I'm not charging $500 and $600 for these kids to play. Most of my expenses come from umpires. When I'm running a tournament and I'm the director of the tournament, I don't get to officiate the tournament because there's a conflict of interest if we should have any trouble or any problems. I've got a pretty good reputation of running fair and honest tournaments. I've got sheriff's deputies, I've got police officers, I've got 3 preachers that call for me, I've even got a chiropractor that calls for me. It's something that I'm not going to be able to do by myself. I'm gonna need some of you business owners, the gentleman back here spoke earlier, I heard him say that he was willing to help. Well, I wanna get your phone number if this goes through, because I'm gonna need some. We did?
Yeah, we did.
Thought you looked familiar. But some of you other people that owns businesses, we're gonna need some sponsors. We're gonna need some sponsors for these kids to put uniforms on. I'm not asking for $10,000, I'm not asking for $100 per kid. They're $5 t-shirts. We're not gonna be able to put them in the New York Yankee style uniforms, or what the Asheboro Parks and Rec, or even the Liberty Parks and Rec can fund, because we just don't have the funding here in Ramseur to do that. With that being said, the 5-year contract is I'm out there busting my tail on these fields. Once we get the fields up and running, you're gonna have people that's gonna either come in, because this is a cutthroat business. You're gonna have people coming in, oh, the fields look nice now, Steve's got them up and looking good, and they'll come in and try to take it over. I'm not looking to take anything, those will only be on the weekends. As far as the lights go, I would like control over the keys, so I can dictate who turns the lights on. That way, if it's more than what the board allows me to turn them on, then you have somebody to come back to. There are expenses. In my tournaments, I have my tournaments during the day. Saturday, we start at 9 o'clock. I schedule my tournaments so we're done by dark. It's because it's a more of expense that I'm gonna have to pay. If I use the Siler City lights, it's $25 per field to use the lights at any given time. Whether you flip them on for 5 minutes or you flip them on for the whole evening, it's $25 per field. The lower field lights don't even work, so I'm gonna have to get somebody to buy these lights, which cost about $100 or a little bit more to put up in there. Then I'm gonna have to go to some of my other buddies that call ball for me to get up in their list to put those lights in. Or maybe even Jay and his guys can come out in their truck and help us put those lights in. So it's gonna be a community effort of getting those fields back, getting the kids back on the ball field. I've took over basketball. I think that pretty much everybody knows me from Franklinville and the Eastern Randolph area knows that I'm all about this ball stuff and have been for years. I want to say one more thing. The only time we would need lights is for the Rec Ball Association for the kids. Like tonight, I had a ball game. It starts at 6 o'clock. You got 2 games that usually run till about 9 o'clock. So we're gonna have to flip the lights on at some point. I know back in the day, it was only $1 for the youth to be able to get those fields over there. You know, if I turn them on during the tournaments, I would expect to pay for that. I would expect that. But at the same time, I don't want to put all this work in and people go over there and destroy the fields, drink beer, throw beer cans on the field, steal my bases, just go out there in 4-wheelers and tear it up, or whatever the case may be. You know, that's a lot of work for somebody just to come in and tear it up. So appreciate your time. Let's do something. You know, I'm hearing a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of stuff going on in this area, a lot of back and forth. Let's do something right for the kids. If anybody says I'm making $40,000 and $50,000 at this, it's lying. Now I'm telling you right now, this is not a get-rich kind of a game. I'm not getting rich at it. I'm not making no $40,000, $50,000, or even $30,000 a year. There's a lot of work involved in this. People asking me on the street, are you crazy for doing this? Are you going into Ramseur to do this? I'm an Eastern Randolph boy. I'm a Wildcat. This is where I went to school. I want to see my kids. This young lady right here, I watched her grow up playing ball. So I've seen a lot of people that play ball, and you know, I just want to see something good happen for the kids.
Hold on, Mr. Steve, did you have a question?
Let me say this, Steve. The last time you were there, you were blaspheming me.
I think it was a little bit back and forth.
The last time you were speaking, you were blaspheming me. I didn't get the opportunity to say anything back to you that night. But while I was doing my job, I had heard different rumors about you. Some good, some wasn't so good. So I was just asking a few questions around. You didn't take that guy, you didn't come to me. You jumped all over me. But what I'm saying, I'll forgive you. And I'll work with you over at the ballpark. All I'm requesting is that on the lights, the lower field down there is very expensive to operate. They were when I was over, and the lights are still there. So all I'm saying is if you start charging, you know, like they did before when all these crowds was coming in, you burn the lights at night, consider us and help us out on that. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
And then on the 5-year contract, to me, that's a, you know, 3-year maybe, and then negotiable or whatever.
Right, and now currently you've got teams practicing over there. I think y'all got a fee set up for them to do it. They even currently are doing games over there. Franklinville is actually doing their softball games at Ramseur, and the baseball is at Otis Thomas in Franklinville. So I booked the umpires for both areas. In fact, it was supposed to be in Ramseur tonight, but it rained out.
Well, what I'm saying, if the lights are burning other than for our kids in excess, you got the key, you control it, and if they go over, we're asking you to consider us and help waylay the expense on the lights.
I think that's completely
Is that fair enough?
That's completely fair enough. Like I said, I'm not trying to put y'all in the hole, I'm trying to actually help the community and the kids here. So yes, that's a fair.
Anyone else have a question?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, you talked about Eastern Randolph, I'm assuming you're talking in terms of high school. You talk about the travel ball, and then you talk about the Ramseur kids. What are you planning to do for the benefit of the kids that live here in town?
Well, first of all, we're going to offer them an opportunity to play ball again. They took the football program away. They've taken the softball and baseball away. There would have been no basketball in Ramseur had I not took it over 2 years ago when this came up. I've had to clean feces off the walls at Ramseur School because my kids from Ramseur went in there during practice and unsupervised. So, you know, if I'm willing to make sure our school is still in a working order and clean it up, the janitor says, "Hey Steve, look, I went to the bathroom and I mean, you know, it's 9 o'clock at night, he's ready to go home. Guess who had to clean it up?" We're going to give them an opportunity to play ball again. We got to give them a place to play ball. Craven Stadium currently is operated by somebody else. And the fields over here, the lower field, has got grass growing on the infield. The person showed me the inside of the concession stand. She wouldn't even go in there. She was scared of all the big spiders and stuff. There's a lot of work to be done in the lower field, but the lights are just not even able to do a night game there. You can't see for the safety of the kids. I wouldn't dare even put a game on that field, much less consider putting them on there at night.
For the sake of time, you're repeating yourself. Let me rephrase my question. Are you planning on developing a league situation for Ramseur kids?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I need.
I thought I said that. I'm sorry about it. Didn't make it so clear.
Mayor,
Yes.
based on what y'all dialogue, we probably need to allow some addressing, make sure everybody's on the same page with regard to electricity
Yeah,
and
now-
water or something, and try to, just gonna need to amend the agreement.
I think Steve was going to get up and doing, but
Do y'all have a, I know you got a budget meeting, do you have a done one scheduled this month?
Do what?
You gonna have another budget meeting later
Yeah,
this month?
budget meeting.
Wednesday.
Right, what about later this month?
We don't have anything scheduled at this point.
Well, he's gonna need to look at it too, I don't know if we can get it all done. But we can amend it and get copies of it.
why don't you express to the board what the amendment's going to be, and then we can go in there on tonight.
Well,
Is that possible?
I don't know what you charge.
Well, they got the 375 in the contract,
Right, I'm saying for electricity and water.
and the electricity and water, well, I better stay on the conversation.
Well,
What's wrong?
nothing.
No?
Like I said, I got keys to Southmont Elementary School, the whole run, and they don't cost me anything. I take it off of the booking fees for the umpires, so it's kind of a wash. 375, is, just gotta be, especially with the conditions that the fields are in. I'm not even able to, if you said, okay, Steve, you can have them, you know, they're not even in a situation where I could make any money, and this late in the season for the town of Ramseur, we certainly can't. Rec ball's already started and it's looking to end here in the next few weeks. My problem is we gotta get those fields up and fixed before we can even think about doing it.
Don't we have a statement in the contract that we're going to renegotiate the price next year? Did I read that? Oh,
No.
okay.
He would, if he wanted to renew it after the 5 years. If you renewed it up to 5 years, I think that's a price.
Now, I looked over that contract. It was one that y'all had made with the previous person. And some of the things that I saw in there was part of the agreement is that you guys would pay the light bill. You would mow the field one time a week. I even talked to, I think his name was Mark, and I'm glad I got that right. And he had said we had agreed on possibly a day during the week that he would mow it on, which would have them ready and tidy before we used to do any tournaments on the weekend. Sometimes it grows more, and if that happens, then I'll just take care of it myself. But we wanted to renegotiate this contract in the 4th year because at that point, it would give me an opportunity to know if I needed to carry those tournaments, because there's a process that you have to set a schedule on. I've got a website that you have to place it online so the teams can look in advance before they play. That's the reason why we were going to do it in a year. I mean, in the 4th year. It was at $375. I think that was. We're gonna have fall ball. We're planning on having fall ball if we get it up and running. By the fall, August 1st is the end of, kids have to move up August 1st to their next age group. So we're trying to look into doing some fall ball. A lot of teams have showed a lot of interest in possibly doing it. Not just from Ramseur, but from Asheboro, southwest area.
Don't you have Franklinville right now using the field?
Franklinville, I don't know what's going on with the field across from the fire
I mean,
department.
over here, I mean, see what it is, you're talking about getting the fields ready, because you're actually talking about next year, really in the fall.
The fall, actually, me and Franklinville had talked and would like to do a fall league between the two areas.
Because you're gonna have to get started now, actually.
Well, we would start signups in about July because they wouldn't actually start until September.
Yeah.
Let's get this conversation back between you and the board and the attorney. So Bob, you suggested that you need to redo some of that stuff.
You just need to address the power bill,
Power bill.
electric bill, and water. All right? Electric bill.
We don't charge for water.
All right, then electric.
I would like to step down as chair temporarily and appoint Commissioner Cheek as the chair temporarily so I can make a comment. Commissioner Cheek, you're now in charge as chairman until I resume chairmanship. I have heard for the last 2 years. Pardon me?
You think good as a state?
No, I don't have to go down. I'm speaking just like you guys do.
Danny's removing himself.
I'm resuming myself as chair. I still have the right to speech just like you do right now. We have heard for the last 2 years, we need some recreation in Ramseur for the kids. We don't have it. We have an opportunity to get it. We have negotiated with people in the past that didn't pan out. We have an opportunity now of an individual taking over the baseball fields, getting them back in shape. I'll tell you what it's gonna cost this individual. We have $5,000 in the budget this year appropriated for utilities. It will not cost $5,000 for the whole summer for those lights over there. I don't think. Now, this guy is willing to pay us $375 a month to use those fields, bring them back into shape for recreation for the kids of Ramseur. It looks to me like that the taxpaying citizens of Ramseur would want to support activities of this nature in our community again. So the board can do what they want to. They have the ultimate decision of saying yes or no to Mr. Steve Heath. They can do this contract over again, or they can go with it as it is. There is a clause in here that this can be canceled by either party within 60-day notice. Is my correct, attorney? So why don't we go ahead and give Mr. Steve Heath the opportunity to start sports in Ramseur June the 1st under this present contract with the terms that's already been specified here, and let's pay the utilities for the first year. What's wrong with doing that?
This is a 5-year contract.
It's a 5-year contract.
It's probably, if you're gonna renegotiate on utilities, you need to address that right now.
Right.
Say if you're gonna get it waived at the first year, and you're gonna charge the same, what is Franklinville charge? Utilities.
I really don't, I charge at a lower rate for people to come play my tournaments. Because people don't have money, I don't charge as much on the gate as the most Top Gun, USSSA, Nations, there's all kinds out there. Our main event sports, we offer a lower rate, but we give better rewards. We put more into it so the kids don't have something they'll be proud of.
Are you over Franklinville?
I'm not over Franklinville, I'm over the officials for pretty much all around North County, all the way to
What
Pittsburgh.
we're saying is the people that are over Franklinville pays the total power bill to Franklinville.
Franklinville pays.
Franklinville, I think, for Franklinville, yes, Franklinville pays the power bill for Otis Thomas. Yes. Is what we're, I guess the field we're speaking of.
Town pays for it.
Town pay. No, I don't know.
I make the motion that we accept.
Wait a minute, no, hold on a minute. You can't do anything right now, you're the chairman. So at this time, I would assume my chairmanship back from Commissioner Grant. I'm spoken my piece.
I'm gonna say one more thing, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't need no drama. I don't need no trouble. All I need is to have some ball for these kids in y'all school. I'm not looking here, I don't make no enemies. I ain't trying to be mad at Joe. I just wanna play ball for these kids. All this other stuff y'all arguing about, y'all take care of it. Leave the kids in my care as far as the ball fields and do whatever else, but I don't need no drama.
All right, okay, thank you, Steve.
Appreciate
We
that.
have-
Moderator,
We
I
have,
move the previous question.
so, if we get back to the previous question, we already had a motion on the floor in a second to end the contract, did we not?
Yes.
And then we were in discussion.
Yes.
That's the previous conversation.
The idea is to pass this contract.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. We're going back, we have a motion and we have a second to pass this contract as written. Correct? So, is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion of accepting this contract as written, please raise your hand. All opposed likewise.
May I speak?
Ma'am, in reference to
And my husband had 50 years worth of work.
Evan
with
Cox's
Eastern
will,
Randolph.
ma'am, it would be my honor to have you come up and say something.
I didn't come here.
Can I come in down and help you?
I didn't mean to come in with you.
Please tell them who you are. I know who you
I'm
are.
Mrs. Elvin Cox, Mr. Wilhoit. And we've been married for 21 years when he died. Nobody was using computers a lot when we got married. He spread his papers all over the dining room table, and he had, I think it was 700 Little League members responsible. He collected all the data for them, their social security numbers. He made sure that they had insurance. That's a big deal, buddy. and I admire your spunk.
Good.
You know why I got it from your husband, man.
Thanks,
Do
man.
you remember Mr. Cox?
Yes, sir, we all do.
And Elvin had a lot of trouble with some of the,
You know,
well, let's see. Yeah, one of them. Some of the team, what do you call it? The coaches. And he had the meetings in the library. But he had to hold on to it because somebody had to have
right.
thumbs. And the town has been disappointing it. And I don't want people to look at you guys and think you're just a bunch of old fuddy rednecks. But, you know, I want you to know that these kids are growing up, and they are going to be a reflection of what you are. And we've got some really nice people in Ramseur, or I get out of here. There's a lot, the guys that cleaned up on our street, you're absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am.
But Elvin would be so proud of it, and to see that there's little leagues going again.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next item of business is the ABC Board. Commissioner Weinberg, is it budget?
I'm on there.
You want me to handle that, or you gonna handle it?
I'll handle it.
All right. You go ahead.
Well, my understanding, I'll just
Jimmy
speak from John Allen. My understanding is that the ABC board is about the building ready to, all I'm working on it. They have a manager in charge of it now, and that we are one member short, and they would like to recommend Jimmy Riddle to fill Mr. Lane's seat on the ABC advisory board.
So
I'll make that as a nomination.
you're making that a motion.
Make that as a motion.
That would give, if he's still in Charles' seat, that would give him, 2 more years.
Let's get a second, then we'll discuss.
He was asking, it would give him, Jimmy 2 more years.
Still is.
Is it,
I'll second that motion.
we move to second that we put Jimmy Riddle, ask Jimmy Riddle to serve on the ABC Board on a 2-year term.
To fulfill Charles' seat.
Charles Lane's unexpired term, whatever, 2 years and 6 months or whatever it is. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor of having Jimmy Riddle fulfill Charles Lane's unexpired term, raise your hand. All opposed likewise, motion carries.
Hey, one more thing on that. The question's up, when is it gonna open? That's a good question, but we're getting closer. They've got all the shelves are done. It's a beautiful job on the inside. They got the office done, the storage room is, they've just about got it painted now. And Ray, Charles Lane, and Ray Albright, John Allen, and the guy that's gonna be the manager now, they've done a fantastic job up there. And we should have booze for sale. That's within that's it.
Okay, thank you. Is that all, Joe? The next item of business is town credit card. Bobby, did you want to discuss that?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Y'all know it's getting difficult to buy things. I've been trying to buy those paddles for Hugh for 2 months now. Without a credit card, it's not gonna happen. There are so many things, like last week I had to order something for the fire department. I had to send a check with a quote, wait for them to receive the check, process it, then invoice me and send our package. It's taken 2 weeks to get that package done, where if I'd had a credit card, I could have paid it and got it shipped the next day.
Listen, a month ago, we went to, don't mind me saying something, we went to Ashburn to purchase the boats, and they wouldn't take the town's check. I mean, the check was good, I mean, don't get me wrong, the check was good, but it wouldn't go through their.
They wouldn't accept it because it had to have 2 signatures with somebody there. Yeah.
And it wouldn't go through their approval.
Yeah, and, you can't take a PO to most stores. So I make the motion that the town, gets a credit card.
I second.
Moving to second, we purchase a credit card to be used for purchases.
I will go through Fidelity Bank for that as well.
Is there any discussion?
Is there any cost to it?
A normal credit card.
Interest.
Normal fee.
But we usually pay off credit card statements. We have one with Lowe's, we pay it off and no interest.
Shouldn't it be a debit card instead of a credit card?
No, because you don't want them to have access to the banking account.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All opposed, likewise. Okay, the next item of business is, Bojangles subdivision. Bojangles has came to town here and requested that the back portion of that property that they purchased is kind of in a pie shape, slide by, which entails 0.5257 acres, be subdivided from the main portion for future growth. What they have planned there, I have no idea. But I would understand it might be another business to go on that road. Does everyone have the map? It's that little pie shape to the left off of King Road that they want to subdivide. What's the pleasure of the board?
Is it within, the limits on the code for the split this property? Do it meet the requirements?
First, we gotta need to decide, we need to have a public hearing,
Yeah.
and then we would have all this information.
Okay. All right. We have a motion on the floor to have a public hearing to establish the meets and bounds of this property.
I second it.
Any discussion? If not, we'll schedule a public hearing in June meeting for the front property of Bojangles and the back portion. Yeah. Okay? All in favor of that, raise your hand. All opposed likewise.
I got you, David, I got you.
Okay, planning and zoning board vote. All right. We have reference to the public hearing on planning and zoning board. We have 3 items that you commissioners need to vote on. Number 1 being the Ramseur Board Commissioners shall consider abolishing the current planning board. What's the pleasure of the board? You heard the comment from the people? Now it's your turn.
First, I'd like to make a motion to repeal the current town planning board ordinance. That way we can adopt.
I can't hear you down here.
I said I'd like to make a motion that we repeal the current town planning board ordinance, so we can vote on the new ordinance. You can't vote on the new ordinance
All right,
until you
we have a
repeal the old
motion.
ordinance.
Let me see that. All right, we have a motion to repeal the current town plan and zoning board. Is there a second?
Ordinance.
Ordinance, yeah. I'm
That-
sorry.
You're referring
Repeal the current town plan and board ordinance.
Six.
Have a motion on the floor to that effect.
second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. And the next is the
Second.
abolish.
Yes.
I have a motion. You want to make the
I
motion?
make the motion that we abolish the planning and zoning board.
We have a motion on the floor to
Current.
abolish the
Current.
current planning and zoning board. Is there a second? Is there any discussion? Go right ahead.
I don't agree with this, and now I can address some issues that come up earlier. I never once said that Ms. Walker would sue the town. I never told Ms. Cole that. What I said was,
Hold it down now.
what I said was When they were talking about demolishing the board, I said, because they wanted to take Miss Walker and Margie Casey off of it, I said, it's not right, they want to take the two women off the board. I said, y'all are setting up yourself for the town to get sued because you don't have justification. I said, as long as you got justification, I will go along with it, is what I said. And far as friends, everybody in here has friends that someone don't care for. I'm not gonna let you dictate to who my friends are, I'm not gonna dictate to who yours are. As long as they respect me and treat me with respect, I will treat them with respect. The same I will do with you.
Any further comment?
Yeah, I would like to come back and I have not heard one word against Margie, not one word against her.
Yeah, well, it's like they said that I should accuse myself of my aunt, but I never nominated my aunt for the board. Tim went to my aunt and asked her, didn't you, Tim?
Absolutely.
And I advised her, I didn't think it would be a good match because it was so much turmoil. I had nothing to do with that. I never once asked her to be on the board, but it's not unethical because we're not, it's not husband and wife or mother or child.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about now, Graham. What we're talking about now is abolishing the board.
Right.
And you including your aunt on that, her name has not come up to my knowledge as far as anything she's done wrong or anything other than it looks like that her and all the rest of the board members are doing what one board member wants to do.
And it's like I said, far as Deborah, I speak to her, she talked to me. I'm not gonna say she's right for the board. I'm not gonna say she's not right for the board and stuff. I only can judge her for how she has treated me. She has treated me with respect. She might not have y'all, but I haven't experienced that with her. Now, when it comes to the town issues or the board issues, I'm not gonna let nobody to lead me wrong and stuff. If she's wrong, I'll be the first to say she's wrong. But far as my experience with her, it has not came to that. I can't say what your experience been with her. And I can respect that. Your personal. Right, personal. And I can respect that because I haven't seen that. But if it ever comes an issue where it comes between me, her, or the town issues, I'm not gonna cover up for her or nobody else because that is my livelihood and my name I'm putting on the record. I just wanna make that clear.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to amend the motion by striking out the word to delete and insert the wording, the planning board shall consist of 5 members whose term shall be staggered on a 4-year cycle, starting with Deborah Walker.
Hold on a minute, we're not down to that yet. We're down still on abolishing.
That's what the word delete means, to abolish.
The motion on the floor is to abolish the current planning board, period.
And that's what I'm working on.
Don't sound to me like you're hitting on.
I am amending the motion by striking out, which is a correct motion, and by adding or inserting the wording. The wording I'm trying to say is, the planning board shall consist of 5 members whose terms shall be staggered on a 4-year cycle, starting with Deborah Walker in June 2017, Margie Casey in June 2018, Elton and the alternate in 2019, and Bobby and person filling the vacancy in June 2020. The reason why I'm making this is that as far as with that one, she would only have 2 more months to serve, and this way we would not lose at least Elton and Bobby, because from what I've heard, they have said they would not serve again.
Commissioner Hensmeyer, where I got delete, where I was thrown off that as, we had abolished the current plans on board, and you got delete. So, I'm sorry for calling you out of order, but I see what you got now. Okay, we have an amendment to the motion that says that, abolish the current planning board, and wants to amend that motion by striking out the word abolish and inserting the word, the planning board shall consist of 5 members whose terms shall be staggered on a 4-year cycle, starting with Deborah Walker in June of 2017, Margie in June of 2018, Elton and the alternate in 2019, and Bobby and the person filling the vacancy in 2020. That's the amendment to that motion.
I'll second that
Now,
motion.
you don't have to second it. It's already have a motion on the floor, this is an amendment to that motion. We have to vote on the amendment prior to the motion. All in favor of the amendment to the motion, raise your hand. All opposed, likewise. Okay. So that would take care of abolishing the current board, correct, Mr. Attorney? So what the board has decided to do is to use the staggering terms. Because we,
Well, you just voted to amend the motion.
right, the
Now you
amendment
need to
passed.
vote. Well, the amendment passed, so now you have to put the vote, you voted to amend the motion.
Right.
Now vote on the amended motion.
Okay, all in favor of the amended motion, raise your hand. All opposed likewise. Judge, you vote? Is
I
that-
don't understand why exactly.
They want to do staggered terms instead of abolishing the whole board at the present time.
And
As an amendment.
I stated the times when these people would go off, which is something that's been a contested information.
Well, thank you.
That's already in the, for us to have staggered terms is already in our,
I agree, but, some of the planning and zoning board says they were elected for 4 years, and if you go by their statement, all 4 of them would go off at the same
but
time.
it's already in our ordinance that we have staggered terms. I don't know why we're voting on staggered terms.
Gentlemen, we've been voting on